The studio lights of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson glowed warmly that night. The audience laughed, clapped, and waited for the next joke from the man who had made America smile for decades, Johnny Carson. But something unusual was about to happen. It was late in the evening when a stage assistant quietly walked up to Johnny during a commercial break and whispered something in his ear. "Johnny, there's a man outside the studio. Security says he's not dangerous, just hungry." Johnny paused, hungry. In the glamorous world of television, bright lights, celebrities, applause, the word hungry felt strangely heavy. "What do you mean hungry?" Johnny asked. "He hasn't eaten in 2 days," the assistant replied softly. "He came hopping, maybe someone could help." Johnny looked down at his cue cards. The jokes suddenly didn't seem very funny anymore. "Bring him inside," Johnny said. The assistant hesitated. "Inside the studio." Johnny nodded. A few minutes later, during the next segment, Johnny walked back to his desk. The audience applauded, expecting another celebrity guest or comedy bit. Instead, Johnny spoke quietly. "Folks, tonight we have a different kind of guest." The crowd fell silent. "This gentleman isn't a movie star, and he didn't come here to promote anything. He came here because he was hungry." The studio doors slowly opened. A thin, tired man walked in. His clothes were worn, his face pale, and his eyes carried the quiet embarrassment of someone who never wanted to ask for help. The audience didn't laugh. They simply watched. Johnny stood up from behind his desk and walked toward the man. "What's your name, son?" Johnny asked gently. "Robert," the man said, barely looking up. Johnny shook his hand firmly and guided him to the guest chair, the same chair where Hollywood legends had sat. "Robert," Johnny said softly, "when was the last time you ate?" The man swallowed. "2 days ago." A deep silence filled the studio. Johnny looked at the audience, then back at Robert. "Well, we can't have that," Johnny said. He turned toward the band. "Doc, do we have anything back there?" Laughter gently rippled through the room as Doc Severinsen, the colorful bandleader, raised his trumpet and grinned. "Johnny, I think we can find something better than trumpet oil." Within minutes, a full meal was brought out from backstage: sandwiches, soup, fruit. Johnny pushed his desk aside and sat next to Robert while he ate. No jokes. No comedy. Just a man eating his first meal in 2 days. The audience began to clap softly. But Johnny wasn't finished. After Robert finished eating, Johnny turned to the cameras. "You know," he said, "people think television is all about laughs, but sometimes it's about remembering we're all human." Then he reached into his jacket pocket and quietly handed Robert an envelope. No one knew what was inside. But later that night, staff members would say it contained enough money to help Robert start over. Johnny shook the man's hand one more time. "Take care of yourself, Robert." The audience rose to their feet in a standing ovation. Not for a celebrity, not for a comedian, but for a moment of kindness. And years later, people who were there would say that out of thousands of episodes Johnny Carson hosted, that quiet moment with a hungry man was the one they never forgot. Red.